Hi TCF, my name is Tony from Cloverdale Paint. I'm going to go through a couple of quick tips on how to maintain the sprayer, clean it up after you're finished at the end of your day. So right now we're going to look at your Titan 1140iX. It's a very large machine, and right now it's all pressured up just with water, but we're going to pretend that water is paint. Okay, so here we go. As we come around, we're going to see the filter body, and below that the prime valve. The prime valve right now is in spray position. Okay, so how do we safely relieve the pressure and get it out and begin the cleaning process? Well, first we're going to start with the power switch. In this case it's the same as the potentiometer, the pressure control. We're just going to turn that off until we hear it click, and there we go. Okay, next step, it's still full of pressure, so we're going to relieve the pressure through the gun, not with the prime valve. So here we have the gun. I'm going to trigger it into this waste bucket and just feather it. There's a lot of pressure there. Okay, now all the pressure is out of there, just about. Okay, that's all it takes. Now there's no more pressure in the machine. We're going to go back to the prime valve and we're going to turn it back down. When it's facing down, it's in prime. There's no pressure in the machine. So what's next? Next we're going to come to the fluid section where it draws up the paint. And we're first going to wash off all of the excess paint off of the surface of the fluid section for several reasons, but it also causes rust and corrosion between the joints. If you can't get to the joints, then the machine can never be resealed or repacked. All right, so moving on, we're going to run a cycle of water, probably about 2 gallons. But before we do, we're going to remove this filter housing, and we're going to clean the spring and the filter inside. Okay, and there is going to be a little bit of paint in there, so actually we're going to run our cycle of water first and then go. So remember, we're in prime. Okay, this is pointed down, and here we go. So we should see water coming out of the return hose. Okay. And we're going to do that for about 2 minutes. Go through about a gallon or 2, depending on the flow rate of the machine. After that's complete, like I mentioned, we're going to take this off. It should just be hand tight. So let's see if we can get that off fairly easily. There we go. It's coming off. There is going to be some water coming out of there. But as you can see, this is the filter core. It's a spring that stops the filter from collapsing under pressure. Okay, that goes inside. That little end should stick out. And the open side, in this case, goes down like this into the filter body. But you can just put it inside there. Okay, open side to open side. We're just going to plug that back in. Okay. And then the last step is pretty simple. We're going to turn the machine back on. It's still in prime. Okay. And we're going to switch it to spray. Okay, so now there's fluid or water primed into the system. We're going to push the paint out of the line simply by triggering the gun into this waste bucket here. Okay, and I like to take a little towel or something, throw it over, let it spray back at me. As you can see, we're just cleaning the line and taking the paint out of it. Now we're going to relieve the pressure again. So we turn the machine off, trigger the gun. So now there's no pressure, and we're going to put the prime valve down. Now we've cleaned everything. We've cleaned the fluid section, we've cleaned the manifold filter, and we've cleaned the line and the gun. There's additional steps to cleaning the filter in the gun. You have to twist off the handle like so. Again, make sure there's no pressure in the machine. And let's take a look at this filter. So this is the gun filter in a Graco gun. And you could probably use changing, but you can clean that off with warm water. Warm soapy water is even better. You just pop that back into the gun. Like so. I'm going to put it back in here and just put it on hand tight. Hand tight, perhaps in a quarter turn, as tight as you can get it by hand. Okay, it should end up looking like that. And we're going to clip the guard, finger guard back in. So that, my friends, is it. We've cleaned both filters. We've cleaned the inside of the machine. So the last step is we're going to run some what's called LS10 liquid through there. I'll show you that. So it is this fluid here. You need 1 cup per 1 gallon. And we're just going to cycle it through the machine, just like we did with the water, except that now that the machine is clean, we can put the return line into our bucket, and you're only going to use about 1 cup of it, and it's going to stay inside. It's going to stay inside of the foot valve here, and that's going to make sure that the ball valve and everything in there, or the check valve rather, doesn't corrode and get rusted, so it can continually move freely and then provide suction. So that's it for today. And feel free to watch this at any time. If you need a refresher, you can also call me or talk to your company. Anyways, take care. Bye for now.